Hello, everybody, far and wide, and welcome to this forum that looks back in time. Courtesy of Casa D18 Studios, we hope you enjoy what's being called Throwback Thursday. Over the coming weeks, months, and hopefully years to come, we hope that you will enjoy us opening the vaults and archives to look back at some of the most unique content across all of our platforms, whether it's Casa D18 Studios, the Jeff Meacham Network, NoDQ.com, my Sybil YouTube channel, the Sybil Man's brand, and of course, FTW Productions, hosted by James Hebert at jhebertside95. It basically is just going to offer you a ton of classic content. So with that being said, buckle up, have fun, take a seat, just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling and enjoy what this Throwback Thursday has in store for you. And again, I hope that you stay tuned for many more that hopefully will come too.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. the Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Hello everyone, this is episode 34 of Talk Wrestling. I am Jeff Meacham, but you already knew that, didn't you? I'm running a break format a little bit today here on NoDQ and MySpace and YouTube. I'm not going to do questions because I had a very long conversation with one of the longtime fans of the NoDQ network, Greg Cherry, the Pennsylvanian sensation, the Penn Sen, if you will. And we talked about TNA the other night, and it occurred to me that there is a serious issue in TNA and the way they're presenting their wrestlers. I'm going to get to WWE one of these days too, because they're not doing too much better with the way they're presenting their superstars. But for me, TNA looks like it needs more work, and I just feel that it needs to be discussed. So, I'm going to talk about TNA. First of all, on TNA, you've got the regular male division, not including the X division, which has pretty much been lumped in with everybody else now, because the X division doesn't stand out like it used to in the glory days of TNA, the original TNA, where the X division stood on its own and actually made an impact on the shows, no pun intended. You've got guys like Abyss. Abyss is, I'm going alphabetical order, just so you know. I'm going to go of their ring name. Abyss has come back, and we all heard that he was going to come back as Chris Parks and not as Abyss, and he was going to do a totally different gimmick, totally different atmosphere around his character and his storylines, and he comes back as Abyss wearing a mental hospital suit instead. Doesn't make much sense to me. If they really wanted to take Abyss away and bring him back as Chris Parks, that would have been so much more compelling, because I think that he would have been rehabilitated. Dude, we're tape inside and we still have dump trucks. What the... You people asked me to tape inside and we still have dump trucks. I need to throw something at the window, like they did on Young and the Restless yesterday, for those of you that missed that. On Tuesday, actually, because this is going up Thursday. Oh, Thursday. Today's September 11th, by the way. My thoughts and my prayers are with the families that were affected by 9/11. God, 7 years ago, if you can believe that. Do you remember you were 7 years ago when 9/11 happened? Were any of you alive when September 11th happened? I know you guys were young, but you're not that young. So, anyway. Abyss is being misused. You got Kurt Angle, who is in this goofy feud with AJ Styles over the gold medal, and originally it was over Karen Angle's affection, Karen Angle's love. It was over just anything they could throw at these two guys. Finally, at least, AJ is being, pushed into a feud with Sting as well. He's kind of part of the Sting feud with Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle, and Booker T's in there too. The only people that seem to be used consistently, you got Kurt Angle, Booker T, AJ Styles, Sting, who has no business being in TNA. Sting, I mentioned this, that he was overrated the other day on the last show, the show before that, and I firmly stand behind that. He is overrated and overpaid. Same with Kevin Nash. They're both past their prime. Sting is working a non-wrestling role right now because they're trying to work out his freaking contract because he wants that much, from what I understand. It's ridiculous. And you got people like, Team 3D, who are still great in their careers, and they're portrayed as goofs. You got Christian Cage, who may or may not go back to WWE when his contract is up soon. You've got Christopher Daniels, who's being portrayed with the Prince Justice Brotherhood as Curryman. Curryman got over because it was supposed to be goofy, but Curryman got over in Japan because Curryman still worked great matches in Japan. Curryman now is nothing more than a joke. He really is. He's terrible. Who else? And then you got Shark Boy and Super Prince Eric. Prince Justice Brotherhood featuring Super Eric. Eric Young is one of the great, could be one of the great X Division competitors that TNA has, but because they want to have him be this stupid, the bottom line is, as much as I get on the case of WWE for making their guys cartoon characters, TNA is doing so much worse. Not one person on that show stands out as an actual legitimate, like, just plain wrestler, except for, like, Matt Morgan. And Matt Morgan is this genetic freak who can do nothing but wrestle. His mic skills are shit, and he's for a long time he's been called the blueprint of professional wrestling in OVW and in TNA by Jim Cornette. I don't see him as a blueprint for this business anymore. Maybe 20 years ago when all the guys were, Hulk Hogan's size and Matt Morgan's size, maybe that makes more sense. But now the wrestling fans want to see guys like AJ Styles fly. They want to see guys like, Evan Bourne do the things he does on WWE television. Jeff Hardy when he's on his game. They want to see more than just the big hulking, bruisers. They don't want to see that anymore. And if they do, then their thinking is outdated. You've got people like in the tag team division, Christian Cage and Rhino, sometimes team, sometimes don't. You've got Beer Money Inc., the World Tag Team Champions, who are actually very good. I am very impressed with the work of James Storm and Robert Roode, along with Jacqueline as their valet and their manager, whatever you want to call her. They're a great tag team. You've got LAX, who is one guy's got one eye. Okay, why are we having people with one eye be over? Shawn Michaels and Homicide. Why do they need to copy gimmicks? I don't understand that. The Motor City Machine Guns, Sabin and Shelley, who are being pushed toward a heel turn, it looks like, slowly. It's happening very slowly, but it is happening. The Princess Brotherhood, who aren't really a tag team, they're like a stable, and you don't see them challenging for the World Tag Team titles. Rock and Rave Infection, who have become complete jokes. We had, when I was working for Epic War, I don't know if I still am working for Epic War, to be honest with you, Jimmy Rave came out and appeared in the triple threat match. Him, Tim Donst from Chikara, and Ryan Drago, who's one of the unsung heroes in Southern California wrestling and Northern California wrestling. And Jimmy Rave had a great match, and he just worked as Jimmy Rave, not as Jimmy Rave from the Rock and Rave Infection, not, we love you, whatever the hell town he says when they're in Orlando every single week. That makes him look so stupid. And Lance Hoyt, who is now Lance Rock, looking like, what's his name, from Guns N' Roses, Slash? That's terrible. And Christy Hemme, I'll get to the knockouts in a little bit. But, and then you have Team 3D, who have been portrayed as complete and utter goofs. They were working so well as the over-the-top heels, like they used to be when they were the Dudleys in ECW, just the people that would incite the riots. Him and Devon. Bubba and Devon used to incite riots at ECW every single show, and now they're portrayed as complete loser goofs, and it's ridiculous that they're being portrayed like that. Then you have the people that don't really do much. They're just kind of there. You have Karen Angle, who hosts that stupid segment she has. But see, the thing is, Karen Angle, I don't know what happened in between Unforgiven 2001 and her time in TNA, but she got fucking hot. She looks gorgeous, and her knockout photos are amazing on the website. If you go to her MySpace, you go to the TNA website, she looks incredible. Lee South's MySpace, they've got great pictures of her. She got hot. I don't know what happened along the way, but somehow she got beautiful. I don't know what happened. Jeremy Borash, who has always been a goofball, and even looks more stupid with the bug eyes every time he does anything remotely shocking or anything. Oh my god! And he's also Kurt Angle's bitch. Or Booker T's bench now. I don't understand that. Tracy Brooks is being used right. She's the Knockout Division commissioner. They're doing right things with her. Jim Cornette, who is one of the all-time great minds in this business, apparently, from what I understand, has no creative input with TNA. He's simply the TNA management director, the on-air character. If they want to have good stories, let Jim Cornette write. Let Jim Cornette produce. Let Jim Cornette do what he did in OVW, what he did in Smoky Mountain, and TNA will take off. Hector Guerrero, who is living off the last name. but he's doing a decent job as a Spanish commentator, and he's doing a great job as the part-time manager of LAX. Because Salinas is there with LAX too, so, we'll see. You got Raisha Saeed. Oh my god. Raisha Saeed is heavily underused and heavily underpaid, from what I can surmise. Melissa Anderson, cheerleader Melissa, is a great worker. She works in Shimmer. She works on the East Coast, up and down the coast. And they've got her in this stupid burqa handling Kong. I don't understand that. She is such a great worker. She's so great in the ring. She has all these skills, all this talent, and they're totally gimmicking her up to the point where, you don't know who it is, which is fine, but my voice just cracked. I'm like, I'm with you, Liberty. Peter Brady. Sorry. You've got her just being used completely ridiculously, and it's terrible. You've got Tenay and West. Mike Tenay, you all know he gave me the West Coast Professor gimmick years ago when we had him on the show. 6 years ago now, when we did the original Extreme Mayhem show. Professor Jr. is what the original name was, or whatever. But now I'm the West Coast Professor, among other nicknames I have. Thank you, Missy Hyatt, for the cheapskate one. But he's a terrible play-by-play guy. He's terrible. And I don't know if that's more him, or if that's more the people in his ear making him say the stupid things that he says. And Don West is terrible. Don West needs to be taken out to a pasture and plugged in the fucking head with a bullet. Okay? His voice makes me go crazy. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, shut the fuck up and go back to infomercials. Hire anybody. Let Jim Cornette do the color commentary. He's a great color commentator. He has a great voice for the business. Ugh. Frank Trigg, UFC fighter and now the manager of Kurt Angle. Don't really know much about him. They seem to be doing the right thing with him, if that's what he wants to do, And then you have SoCal Val, who is managing, or is engaged to Jay Lethal, Black Machismo Jay Lethal, and now Sanjay Dutt and him are fighting over Val, and Val says, winner gets the ring, winner gets me. It's like, what? Val, and I get a lot of heat for being friends with Val, or knowing Val in my house, but Val is a great manager. She has the look, and she knows what she's doing in the ring if she's allowed to do it. TNA has again squelched her and reduced her to a comical role. She could be so much more. Then you got Jeff Jarrett, who's coming back tonight, from what I understand, on Impact. He may appear off camera. He appeared to the live crowd. I don't know if he's going to appear on camera or not. We'll have to see what happens tonight on Impact. But they've really built his return somewhat well. But I don't think that the whole, who's the guitar? It's a mystery. Dude, it's Jeff Jarrett. They're playing his music. They're using his guitar to bash people over the head. It's Jeff Jarrett. There's no mystery about it. They totally made Tenay and West look stupid with the whole guessing thing of who it was. Who the hell else could it be using a guitar in TNA with the, the music? It looked bad. Mick Foley, who just signed with TNA, that's the big news that's happened since I last taped the show, was Mick Foley signed with TNA. He appeared at the Long Island House show to his hometown crowd with his kids in the audience, and the people just popped for him like crazy. He came out to Born to Be Wild, which was his old song in ECW. And, it should be nothing but good things for Mick Foley and TNA in the short term. He signed a short-term deal, I guess. So hopefully things will work out for Mick Foley, because I'd love to see him do great things with TNA in a wrestling role or otherwise. You got Frankie Kazarian, Kaz, whatever you want to call him, who's going to be turned into this video game character soon to coincide with the release of the TNA video game, which just came out 2 days ago, along with the Mr. Perfect DVD, which I intend to get. Aaron was supposed to get it. We're supposed to watch that right now. And he didn't get it. Because Best Buy and Circuit City didn't have it in stock, you sons of bitches. Watching you people. Let me get dogs barking. I can't have a quiet show. It will not happen. You're fired out there. Fired. Kaz is going to be utilized as as I said, a video game character that they created specifically for the TNA game. They're going to morph him into that. That's so stupid. Take the mask off, Frankie. Take the mask off, Daniels. Let them be themselves. They'll get over. Daniels was over. He was so over. So was Frankie. And they're totally just burying them both. Moose Knuckles broke her femur. I don't know if you guys saw the video on NoDQ. That was a fucked up injury, man. But she'll be back in the Knockouts division hopefully soon. And Scott Steiner, who again has no business being in TNA, he's way past his prime. And the fact that they morphed Petey Williams into Little Petey Pump is stupid. Petey Williams was great as Petey Williams, not this Big Papa Pump wannabe. He was stupid. The only thing I don't have a problem with in TNA right now is the Knockouts division. And not just because they're all pretty, and not just because they all look good on camera, because they're booking them right. They are booking this division so well. You've got Taylor Wilde, who's the champion right now, and she's this little spitfire who never quits, never says die. You've got the beautiful people who are the #1 challengers right now, besides Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong is always in the picture because, well, she takes up most of the picture. God love her. I love Awesome Kong. She's a great person. I talked to her on MySpace a couple times. She's really cool. But she takes up a lot of the picture because she is an Amazon woman. She's huge. But you've got Angelina and Velvet, who are like the perfect antagonists for the sweet, babyface Taylor. And then you've got the supporting cast. You got Christy Hemme, who is slowly coming along as also doing great. You got Jacqueline, who's an accomplished women's champion in Tennessee and in the WWE. You've got Raka Khan, who is a valet, but she's getting better in the ring. You've got ODB, who's a great worker. Roxy, who's a great worker. Shelly Martinez Salinas, who's a great worker. I got no problem with the Knockouts. The Knockouts are doing so good, and they are phenomenal in ring. They're phenomenal looking. If it wasn't for the fact that Beth Phoenix gets hotter every show because she's letting her human side come out, I would rank the entire Knockouts division over anything the WWE Divas produce on Monday and Friday nights. I would. Beth Phoenix is only above Taylor Wilde, barely, because she has the overall package. Taylor is hot, and she wrestles well, but so does Beth Phoenix. Michelle McCool is hot, but she's not a wrestler. She's training, she's getting there, but she's not there yet. Taylor is there, Beth Phoenix is there. So if the Knockouts division improves even more, I will rank them above the Raw division and the SmackDown division any day of the week. I think I'm good. I'm spent. I probably just totally blew any chance I had of having a TNAU chapter. I was going to create a TNAU chapter for Cal State Northridge through my friends that go there, Lee and Beth. But he's not a wrestling fan anymore, so I don't know if he would do that. Beth, I think it's still a wrestling fan, so we'll see. But probably just blew it because of my rant. But anyway, next show, 10 questions. Show after that, 10 questions. I've got 20 questions in the wings. I got 20 more that I printed out for the show and left them at home. So I got 40 questions already in the can, waiting for you guys. I got 4 shows worth, and I've got, questions of the week. Don't worry about that. Until then, we will see you in episode 35 of Talk Wrestling. This is Jeff Meacham for NoDQ.com, for my MySpace, for even Aaron's MySpace, and of course, for you wonderful people on YouTube that never give.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special edition of Renegade Wrestling. I am your host, JJ Williams, and you can tell that it's a sad and somber day here in the Casa just because of my tone. Now, we did one of these earlier this year at the passing of the Macho Man Randy Savage, and although this person did not pass today technically, they did on this day 6 years ago. And the Casa here is going to pay tribute to Latino Heat himself, Eddie Guerrero, today. And before I bring in my first guest, I just want to go through a couple of the stories that I have. My very first live Raw event was in April of 2000, the Raw after WrestleMania. And I was able to see Eddie win his first WWF singles title, beating Chris Jericho for the European title. So that memory will always stick with me. In 2002, when Rey Mysterio finally beat Matt Hardy for the Cruiserweight title in Anaheim, I was there and I was able to get Eddie's autograph. I have no picture with him, but I was able to get his signature in my very first WWE program. It's in ballpoint ink pen instead of Sharpie like everybody else signed it in. So that autograph will always be special to me. And then when I got the news of his passing, I was actually on my way back from a wrestling fan event up in Newark, California. And me and my fiance were driving back trying to get to our friend's house in time to watch TNA Genesis. And we got calls and text messages the entire drive home from people telling us, Eddie's been found dead, Eddie's been found dead. And we were like, what? Are you serious? Like, we didn't believe it at first. We got to our friend's house and we started watching Genesis, and we watched the Dudley Boys cut a promo in tribute to Eddie because TNA had the advantage of actually being on the air the night that he passed. And I will forever remember Bubba Ray and Devon with Eddie on their wrist tape. And although I can't remember anything else Bubba said in his promo, I remember him ending the promo with Vaya con Dios mi amigo. And then the next night on Raw, everything just felt real. The minute that Johnny Cash's Hurt played, I was gone. So now that I've depressed you guys enough, I'm going to bring in the most loved new face on the channel to come and share some of his Eddie memories. The one, the only, Stat Boy, Mike Caldwell.
What's up? Had to get that in there.
It would have been better if it was actually playing as you were walking through the spot, not
no,
after you had sat down.
You know how technology is. It never goes when you want it to, so...
Which is why technology is a failure.
Yeah, really. So, that was, of course, Los Guerreros with We Lie, We Cheat, We Steal, which is... That was Eddie's moniker, man. I mean, I don't want to... I'm bringing up the good stuff, man, because, you know, Eddie made me laugh. Eddie was one of the funniest, if not the funniest, talent. Whether you loved him or you hate him, man, he just made you laugh, you know, and that's what I always wanted to remember, you know. If you watch the DVD, the Eddie Guerrero story, and you watch the editing with all the vignettes, the one with the pool, the one with the golf, the one with the baby, you know, that stuff is like, it takes the typical Latin flavor and it just twisted it away. You know, they're sitting in the golf cart, you know, they're throwing the golf balls, and it's like, okay, off of the tree, over the hill, 2, 4, 5, 6, give me 2. You know, and then they're at the pool at Grandma's house. You know, it's like, we come from the Iglesia de San Juan, and we're here to fix your pool. You don't want to get your pool all full of water now, do you? No. And then, you know, they have the hot babes, you know, and they're having the pool party, and here comes Grandma coming out.
Don't forget Chavo jacking the baby ball.
Yeah, it's like, man, that was the ugliest baby, man. And Eddie's got the mom's watch and her wallet. And, you know, and here comes out the baby bottle. I was like, I had to get something, you know.
You got everything else.
Exactly. And then, you know, in his matches, you know, he'd take the steel chair, he would smash it against the ring apron, and then he'd fall to the ground, and he'd point, and he hit me with the chair, you know. There were even times when the referee was knocked out. This is the best one. You know, he hits the ground, and the referee's just taking a nap. And Eddie's looking up and goes, okay, where's the referee? You know, where's the ref? He's like, oh, great. Referee's out. He tries shaking the ref. The ref is in La La Land, literally. You know, it's like, doggone it, what do I got to do to win a match? The thing with Paul Heyman, you know, that's, you know, I want you to apologize. He goes, I apologize. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Heyman, when I said I apologized, I lied, you know. So, you know. The official stats that I have on Eddie, of course.
Because it wouldn't be a Stat Boy rant without stats.
No, it wouldn't be that. 2-time Intercontinental Champion. 2-time European Champion. 1-time U.S. Champion. 4-time Tag Team Champion. 2 with Chavo, 1 with Tajiri, and 1 with Ray Ray. And of course, the granddaddy of them all, the WWE Championship, which I got to see him defend at Judgment Day at Staples Center. It was he got pretty beat up in the match, of course, and then as we were leaving Staples Center, you know, here comes the ambulance. It's like, oh great, Eddie's going to the hospital, you know. So like I say, yes?
Go back for a second.
Go back for a second? Okay, I'm going back.
Because you're a failure, Stat Boy. You think that the people that watch the show only care about the WWE stuff.
Oh, you want me to bring up the WCW
That's
stuff
right.
too. Okay,
Not only you've got 2-time WCW Cruiserweight Champion.
Yes.
1-time WCW United States Champion.
Yes.
Then you even had a 2-time ECW Television Champion.
Yes.
And a 1-time AAA Tag Team Champion with Art Barr.
And, of course, Hall of Fame in 2006.
Yes.
Yes, can't forget that, you know. But like I say, man, the lowriders, can't forget the lowriders. They never really bounced very much, though, did they?
They did when Vince was in it.
That
one was freaking like super duper hydraulics.
You know, I remember Eddie and Chris were in the lowrider one time.
Which Chris are we talking about, just for clarification?
Let's see, that'd be Chris Benoit.
Okay, well, there's Chris Jericho, there's Chris Chin, there's Chris Candido, there's a bunch of Chris's in wrestling. You just got to be specific.
But of course, they were kind of, Eddie was kind of teasing to turn heel, and they got into the lowrider, and he starts it up, and Chris is going, make it bounce, and he's like, what are you talking about? I say, man, I don't make this thing bounce. It's like, make it bounce. And then they get out and they start scrapping or whatever, and you know, it's like, so, you know, I'm sad that Eddie's gone. You know, I can't watch the DVD without just breaking into laughter. I can watch the vignettes over and over and over again. I did get to meet Chavo one time, and I said, you know, are you and Uncle Eddie going to do anything again? He goes, absolutely. Me and Eddie are the best. We're the best when we're a tag team, you know. So, you know, you can never forget about Eddie. That's why we're wearing the shirts today. And even I wore this at an Indy show, like you have your Indy show, and I put this in front of El Generico. And he kissed it because he loved it. He loved Eddie just as much as everybody else, you know. I held up the shirt, got a nice little pop. So, you know, Eddie, to you, let me just say, gracias por todos, you know, viva la raza. And I miss you, man. But every time I see a lowrider go by, I think of you. Cool?
Cool. Thank you very much, Stat Boy, for giving your thoughts. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again to Stat Boy for giving us his thoughts and memories on Eddie Guerrero. The next person we're going to bring into the studio right now, this is the first time I think she's had to do one of these shows, so please bear with her. Eddie was her all-time favorite. You found that out on this past week's RSI, so she gets a little bit emotional. Please forgive her. Jade Hogan.
I'm already emotional.
How does it feel to be sitting here next to someone that's not Jeff?
Pretty good.
Okay. So go ahead and tell.
Unusual.
Go ahead and tell all the fans out there watching your memories of Eddie, and then how you felt when you heard the news of his passing.
My memories of Eddie were just TV, really, because I never really got to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already crying. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
He was something really special. He changed wrestling for me. He had such a talent and such a passion for it, and loved his fans and loved the business so much. And made me love it because of how much he loved it. He was such, like Stat Boy said, such a joker, and he loved everybody, and you could tell even he loved his family on it, and Vicky. My heart goes out to Vicky right now. Being the mom. And sorry.
It's okay. Do you have a favorite Eddie match or anything that you'd like to talk about or throw out there?
I'm kind of lost. I can't think of any one right now because I just love the ball. My favorite moment recently was meeting Vicky, because that's the closest I've ever gotten to meeting Eddie, and it breaks my heart that I never got to meet Eddie, but at least I got to meet his wife.
There you go.
And she was the sweetest thing. She totally was so sweet. When I came up to her, she's like, "Oh, don't cry." And I remember.
I told you you she was a sweetheart, didn't I? Because you had your doubts. You wanted to believe the character you saw on television. And I tried to get
into the media.
I tried to get into your head that outside of the ring she was just this adorable little woman who loved everybody. You found out for yourself at Access.
She is. She's a sweetheart. I love her to death. I will cherish that moment forever.
As I will
for you. Thank you.
As I will the year prior, where we got her to do her "excuse me" squeal to Natalie, and Natalie just started busting up because she recognized the squeal from watching wrestling with me.
Dylan does it too.
Dylan copies a lot of things.
Yeah, but it's so cute when he does that, though.
It is. Not to get sadder on you, but obviously you cried when Eddie passed. What do you remember about when you found out the news of his passing?
When I found about the news, I was sleeping in front of my TV. I was taking a nap. And Jeff was on the computer, on the couch.
That sounds familiar.
Because I didn't have a bed, I had a couch at the time because my apartment was so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sleeping on the couch cushions on the floor, and I wake up and Jeff says, Eddie Guerrero passed away today. And I just looked at him like, what? Are you kidding me? You must be kidding. I didn't believe it at first. And
I sense a common thread there that when people heard the news, they just didn't believe it.
At all. I was like, you're kidding me. You're joking. That is such a mean joke. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm really serious. Look. And he showed me the news written out. I just started bawling like I'm doing. I was so sad. And the whole day I was crying. Every time I heard the name Eddie, I just started bawling. And till this day, I try not to, but I can't even watch an Eddie segment without crying. Because I miss him so much. I miss you, Eddie. I love you. God bless you.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming on to this, your first show, and hopefully there's not too many of these that you have to do.
I hope not.
But such is life in the business. Thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts. And
thank you.
I want to thank Jade once again for giving her opinions, thoughts, and memories on Eddie Guerrero on this 6th anniversary of his passing. Next guest I'm going to bring in right now is somebody who you've seen around on this channel once or twice before, but it's never been in a wrestling capacity. I'm going to bring in my brother from another mother, Bruce Edwards, come in here and talk about his memories and thoughts and all that type of stuff on Eddie's passing. And Bruce, welcome to the Renegade of Wrestling.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Basically, everybody's been in here today giving their favorite moments or talking about favorite matches and memories of Eddie Guerrero. And I know Eddie was one of the guys that you looked up to and idolized. Hoping you could share some of your thoughts with fans.
Wow. This is really hard to believe. It's been 6 years since he died. It's really hard to pick one favorite Eddie Guerrero moment. I mean, guy was just one of those. He was one of those all-around talents. He was amazing in the ring. He was great on the microphone. He was funny as hell. Really, really made wrestling entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But he never made it look stupid. You know, there are a lot of guys who they just don't seem to have the passion And that's one thing, one word that I can always use to describe Eddie Guerrero was passionate. You saw it in his work in the ring. You saw it out of the ring when he would do promos and skits and all that. He really made you believe that he was into what he was doing, and that made him a lot of fun to watch. Whether he was, face or heel, he was always top notch. I don't think I've ever seen an Eddie Guerrero match that I didn't like. But obviously the culmination of all of those years and all of that effort was Eddie winning was it the Undisputed title at the time? Were they calling it that? I forget.
They weren't calling it the Undisputed anymore. It was just the WWE Championship.
Okay.
But it was that Undisputed belt prior to the conversion to the spinner.
Right. Just the match he had with Brock Lesnar was amazing. The match he had with JBL was amazing. Matches that he had when he started in WCW with Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Juventud Guerrera, Psychosis, Dean Malenko, Jerry Lynn. What can we say about Eddie Guerrero that hasn't been said a million times over? He was hands down one of the best in the business, and it's unfortunate that he was taken from us so soon. We all know he battled a lot of demons, and he overcame a lot of times, and it's I'm trying to get everything. I'm trying to put all my thoughts in line. I could sit here and talk for hours, about Eddie Guerrero and just how awesome he was, and
Well, a point that you touched on that I think is a good point to go back to is the passion that Eddie had. And there's very few guys out there today that seem to have that same passion.
That's true. And that's that's exactly why I don't watch it anymore.
You called Eddie one of the best in the world, and I was actually thinking one of the matches that I wish Eddie were still alive that we could see is Eddie against probably the one guy in WWE right now that I think has the most passion and considers himself the best in the world, and that's CM Punk.
I think
Eddie Guerrero versus CM Punk, not the CM Punk that we're seeing right now on TV, but the CM Punk that we got a couple years back when he first turned heel and was exposing Jeff Hardy's demons. I think if we'd had that straight edge savior CM Punk, bringing out all of Eddie's demons and all that stuff,
a great storyline.
I think that would have been an epic feud, an epic series of matches.
Yeah, definitely. They just guys like Eddie Guerrero I don't see him anymore. At least not in the rare times where I've watched WWE or TNA. There are a lot of guys possibly in Ring of Honor that I think would make great matches with Eddie. Davey Richards is one that comes to mind. I think that would have been, and I'm looking at Jeff's face, or I wish you guys could see Jeff's face when I said that. I don't know. I know Eddie Guerrero was in Ring of Honor for a while. I don't know if he got a chance to wrestle Davey Richards, but
no, I don't think Davey had come around yet at that point.
That would have been such a great match. That possibly would have been one of the matches of it would have been a match of the year.
Eddie versus Bryan Danielson.
Eddie and Bryan Danielson. Eddie and possibly Eddie and Kenta. Eddie and Chris Hero. There are a lot of guys in Ring of Honor who are just very passionate about what it is they do. And I'm sorry to take this from Eddie Guerrero to talking about Ring of Honor, but
we still are talking about Eddie. We're talking about matches we'd love to see if he were still alive.
Yeah, Eddie and Ricky Steamboat. I mean, they, like WrestleMania 3 era, Ricky Steamboat versus Eddie Guerrero and Randy Savage. I mean, just dream match after dream match, and they would all be awesome. They would just all be amazing, because Eddie Guerrero really was known for putting his heart and his soul into his work. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I cried like a baby when I heard he died, because I knew that was it was a very important era in my life, and I'm pretty sure in all of our lives that was coming to a very abrupt end. And there's nobody else like him. There never was, and there never will be.
Yeah. Eddie's was the first passing that really affected me in wrestling. I had been watching for about 6 or 7 years at that point, and I had been around for Owen's death and Bulldog's death and Classy Freddie Blassie's passing and Chris Candido. None of those really hit me the way that Eddie's did.
Brian Pillman was the first one for me. Brian Pillman was that one. That one was the one that it just started the whole trend of wrestlers dying young, and it really started to expose a lot of things that a lot of promoters would probably have rather kept in their locker rooms.
Definitely agree with that.
It really exposed a lot of dark, ugly things that were going on in the wrestling business that nobody really paid attention to, because everybody figured wrestling is not a real sport, it's fake. So, these guys aren't actually getting hurt. These guys are just actors and all this and all that. But, I'd like to see some of those people take a few bumps, get superplexed or get frog splashed or take a really stiff body slam on an arena floor and see how fake they think it is then.
Yeah.
But, man, it's just so hard to believe it's been 6 years since Eddie died. Wow.
I know it.
Just, wow.
Well, I thank you very much, Bruce, for stopping by and sharing your thoughts and emotions on Eddie.
No problem. No problem at all.
All right, folks. Thank you once again to Jade for coming in and giving her thoughts and memories and emotions on Eddie. The last person I'm going to bring in at this time needs no introduction. He is my Dad's on Wrestling co-host, the host of After the Bell, co-host of Ringside Insanity. Just get your ass in here. I'm not even going to say your name, seriously. Bottom line try to milk the grand entrance for all it's worth.
Right. The bottom line is I got too much shit to do on this channel. I got 3 shows going.
The man who, without him, this channel probably would have already done died.
That's very nice to say. I'm already teared up as enough. Now, I don't. You have to pop that, because seriously, I'm crying up as it is. I'm sitting here running camera for the rest of y'all during the rest of y'all segments. Jade got me crying. It's like Dolph Ziggler. How do you follow that? Fuck. What is there to say? She told the story of waking up, and I told her, because it wasn't even a nap. It was when we first woke up in the morning that Sunday. It was exactly 6 years ago today, because it was a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. That's part of why we're doing this, is because it is 6 years to the day.
Exactly. But there's so much good stuff before that. You talked about the night after WrestleMania 2000, your first WWF live event in ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at WrestleMania the night before, not to rub it in your poor face, but I was at WrestleMania and watched the craziness of the 6-person tag match, including Chyna's wardrobe malfunction, which Eddie just took in stride like he always does. I was supposed to be at the Cow Palace when he won this. The plans fell through.
See, that's another memory I didn't get to touch on. I'll touch on after you go through yours.
That's cool. You know, Eddie, like Jade said, Eddie was something special. Eddie touched so many lives. Eddie, influenced so many people in this business, and everybody in this business, couldn't help but love Eddie Guerrero once he found his way to redemption. Because there were times, I've read his book, I read other people's stories and everything, and he was not a good person to be around. But he found his way back, and it's one of those things where you look up in the sky every now and then and you go, why him?
Yeah.
I mean, why one of the good guys?
Uh-huh.
And if it's your time, I suppose. But Eddie had found his way back to redemption. Eddie had cleansed his soul, cleansed his body for over 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's heartbreaking. And, Jade mentioned in her segment that meeting Vicky Guerrero was the closest thing to meeting Eddie, and it's the same thing with me. I saw him live a few times, but never actually got to meet him. Or even get an autograph from him like you did when you mentioned the autograph thing. What you didn't mention, and I'll go ahead and tell that part, is JJ's up in the stands and Eddie's down there on the floor, and he basically passed the program down to him. Geez, he wanted to get the autograph so bad. But no picture proof.
On the floor backstage.
Yeah, he was like on the floor in the backstage area of
the Honda Center.
The pond back then.
It'll still be the pond.
It's all the Honda Center. We'll go with that because it sounds the same. He got the autograph, and for me, taking not only Jade but taking my son to meet Vicky, and Dylan only knows the Vicky that we know now.
Yeah.
Dylan hasn't seen Eddie Guerrero on DVD because Jade can't watch it. She can't. It's hard for me sometimes, when we did the tribute show last year, after 5 years here in the apartment, she couldn't even come down. She refused.
Well, she's not going to have much of a choice tomorrow, because I was telling her in the green room area that instead of watching tomorrow night's Go Home to Survivor Series Raw, I think we should watch the freaking Eddie Guerrero Raw, since it would be 6 years to the date that aired.
Do we have that here?
Yes, we do.
Because I know I loaned my copy to Sharifa.
Yes, we do.
Okay, good. As long as we have it.
And then on Friday, instead of watching SmackDown, we'll watch
the tribute show.
Eddie SmackDown.
Yeah, because they were both taped 6 years ago
today.
And you guys, Jade mentioned waking up and seeing Raw, watching Raw and all that. You guys mentioned watching Raw and everything. I remember getting up on .com and watching Vince and poor Chavo, still in his current white look, that hideous blonde hair, which we never saw that again, thank goodness.
Yeah, after those episodes, he was back to being a regular Chavo.
It's so bad that it took Eddie's death to get the Kerwin White gimmick to die with it. Good grief.
It was also the first time we saw future World Heavyweight Champion Dolph Ziggler.
That's true.
Because that was Kerwin's caddy.
That was Kerwin's caddy, yeah. And now Dolph Ziggler's with Vicky. Things that make you go,
comes around.
It does.
Started with one Guerrero, and now he's with the other Guerrero.
Yep. And I loved that Vicky appreciated posing with this so much, because, my replica belts mean a lot to me, and I have these grand plans for my belts, of course, but to have Vicky be able to pose with it with me, it was just awesome. And, Jade was wearing this shirt because she wanted to have something Eddie for her, and
I was wearing
you're wearing that shirt and the belt during your part of it. That's right. And y'all got to meet her together. It was awesome. Well, you met her before, but I'm going around. I'm taking up too much time.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No one really got into the matches. Everyone's talked about the skits and what a joker he is. You know, since I've got my regular cohort with me right now, let's get into some of his best matches.
God,
and the first one that pops into my mind is, without a doubt, a classic that if it wasn't for WWE Only the Library would probably be lost.
Definitely.
And that's Eddie versus Dean 2 out of 3 falls in ECW.
Yes, that's
their
on.
final match in the promotion.
Before they all went to WCW, that mass exodus. That match was incredible. I don't think a bad Eddie versus Dean match exists.
No.
And they feuded over the TV title with Paulie. They feuded, over just being the better wrestler. And in a company like ECW, where that wasn't the norm for the longest time, they showcase the fact that, hey, you can have Sandman and Dreamer and, Raven, all these guys just beating the holy hell out of each other with weapons and stuff, but we're going to wrestle. Yeah. And that's what we want. That's what we're paid to do. That's what we want to do.
Exactly.
And they paved the way for guys to come in like Conan, like Rey Mysterio, like Juventud Guerrero, like Psychosis.
Yeah.
All those guys came in after the WCW moved from Eddie and Dean and Benoit and Jericho and all that. And, Ray talks about it in the book, and I am reading Rey Mysterio's book, by the way. I borrowed it off him. I'm being good. Ray talks about it.
I actually bought it.
It's true. but
for as much crap as we give him for stealing Chavo's push, but still bought the book.
But to be fair, we did buy it at the border sale, going out of business sale.
Not supposed to give away all the secrets, Jeff.
Yeah, whatever. Ray talks about that Eddie, influenced him in more ways than just the god-awful storyline in 2005 with Dominic and,
which made Aaron stop watching wrestling.
For a long time. Not Rift. Aaron, AA here in the house. Rift never stopped watching wrestling. I will give him that. And I'm going to give the devil his due here. And when I was working for XMV, when Eddie passed, we did a tribute show then, like not too long after. Aaron called me in the morning. He gave me a couple hours to wake up. It was very nice of him to give me a couple hours to at least wake up that day first. But I'm getting texts and phone calls all day, like you said, coming back from the show, and it was crazy. Eddie versus Ray, 1997 Halloween Havoc, Mask versus Cruiserweight title.
Definitely an epic.
Match of the year for WCW.
Yeah.
Match of the year for any company. You put that up against anything any other company had, and they go, yeah, that's all right, I'm good. Then you went to WWF. They had the European series with.
Before you jump too far ahead into the WWF career, let's not forget about the Latino World Order.
This is true.
And the Filthy Animals, which were on Jade's shirt.
Yeah, you couldn't really see. All you saw was like the rolling with on the thing, but the Filthy Animals were tag team. I know Eddie wasn't tag team champion with the Filthy Animals, but he was part of that crazy group of Ray and Conan and Eddie and Billy Kidman somehow in the group. Because
Juventud was in there for a minute.
In the LWO, yeah.
I think he was in the Animals too after Eddie left, and
maybe
I think Conan got injured or Kidman got injured and started that feud with Hogan.
That's
I think
true.
Hoovy was in there for a minute, and I think even Disco was in the Animals for a minute, if I remember correctly.
Knowing who was booking WCW at the time, it wouldn't surprise me. You got that stuff. You've got anything WWF he's done except for
Stat Boy approved.
Stat Boy approved according to Jay's rant. Is Stat Boy approved there? In the Fed.
The storyline with China is his mamacita.
China's Playboy coming out and him. Yeah, China's Playboy coming out and him turning heel for the first time almost an entire year, because he was heel for a couple of months there at the beginning. The Radicals debuted. Not at first, but when Triple H convinced them of the ways of Alani and Triple H. But then he was face for a long time, and
let's touch real quick on Eddie's first WWF match. He went for that frog splash and freaking broke his arm.
Yep, there was supposed to be a big thing where the Animals, good lord, the Radicals were going to be face for a while.
Yeah.
And Eddie just broke his arm like on a frog splash. Like, how did? Fuck.
Was it on Billy Gunn?
I think so.
I know it was a member of DX. I'm blanking. I think it was Billy Gunn.
It was either Billy or Road Dogg, one of the two, because I'm pretty sure it was the Outlaws too.
And he went for that frog splash and he just shattered his arm.
It was awful.
Freaking debut, first match with the company, and you're out with an injury.
First week, you debut on Raw and then you wrestle the next night on SmackDown and it's over, just like that. You're in a sling for 3 months. That sucked.
But luckily, he was able to be ready for Mania.
And it was so cool because that was my first live event in 6 years. And the last event I went to was 1994 at WCW House Show. So I was looking forward to some decent stuff.
Yeah, 2000 was actually a pretty big year for me as far as going to wrestling shows, because I got 2 WWF Raws, a WCW Thunder, and ECW Heatwave pay-per-view.
And that was WCW's last trip out here, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Before they.
So I ended up going to 4 shows
for 3 companies
in that year, and they were all, my first WWF show, my only WCW show, my only ECW show, and then I got another Raw towards the end of the year because it was Stat Boy's birthday.
Yeah, there you go.
It was the Outlaws.
It was the Outlaws. Very good. See?
Hot damn.
Stat Boy approved. 2 for 2, Jay. 2 for 2.
Woohoo!
All right.
My shitty memory's getting better.
Yeah. So.
What did I just say?
I have no idea. Fuck.
There it goes again.
Shit.
Anyways.
Last time we did fuck and edit start over, so we better stop.
Well, also in WWF, you know, another match that really stands out, and considering my current attitude, I can't believe I'm gonna put this match over. But the parking lot brawl between Eddie and Cena.
That was fucking awesome. I will definitely give you that 100%. But you skipped ahead of where I was going. How about the feud with Rob over the IC title?
There was a feud with Rob? Does Rob remember that?
Yes.
I'm kidding. Obviously, yeah, the RVD Eddie, the ladder match where the fan
jumped in the ring,
pushed the ladder over, and then proceeded to get stomped by Eddie as a result. But of course, that scene along with, you know, the entire Chris Benoit catalog doesn't exist on DVD anymore.
That's right, they edited that shit out, which pissed me off. That was funny. It's one thing to edit Benoit out because whatever, but to edit out the fan jumping in, that shit's awesome. It's funny.
The funny thing is, they used to show a clip of Benoit in the crowd when that segment happened. It was like the fan jumped in the ring, and instead of showing all that, they cut to a shot of Benoit in the crowd who was sitting there watching the match because they were like getting ready to bring him back, or they were in Edmonton. I forget the situation.
Yeah, it's like, what
he was
the fuck
either out on injury getting ready to come back, or they were in his hometown, or whatever it was, but they cut to him in the crowd, and now, well, you know, he doesn't exist anymore, so maybe they'll actually take the option of showing the fan run in.
Maybe. If they do an edit DVD, which if they do, I don't know if I can sit through another one. It's so sad. Fuck. The feud with Rob, the feud with Cena over the U.S. Championship, Los Guerreros coming back together, Chavo was hurt and then he came back. Los Guerreros winning the tag titles at Survivor Series.
Yes.
9 years ago. Fucking awesome. At MSG.
There you go. And where are we going to be for Survivor Series this year?
Well, I'm going to be right here. But
well, where's WWE going to be?
MSG. There you go. Yeah. I'm sitting on my ass on my couch. I don't know what the rest of y'all. I'm not going nowhere. You had that. You had, of course, going into 2003, 2004, the feud with, not the feud, but like the lead into Brock.
Yeah.
And the WWE Championship win. Like I said, it's supposed to be there. Damn it.
Let me go ahead and get into that story real quick, since we went back to the Cow Palace there.
Yes.
Again, it's amazing how some of this stuff all ties into each other, because 2 years after the fan autograph signing convention, whatever it is you want to call it, that I went to when I was coming back and found out about Eddie's death, 2 years later I went up to Frisco to an event called Wrestle Fan Fest, which was being held at the Cow Palace. And a lot of fans and critics refer to this as the Frisco fiasco now, because a lot of talent didn't get paid. Some talent skipped out on the fans as a result of it. But they actually had matches take place in the Cow Palace as part of the supplement to this big event. And during one of the times where there were no matches, I just walked into the Cow Palace there and stood at like the middle of one of the stairwells, and I don't really believe in spirits or anything, but I got goosebumps because I could feel the energy in that place.
Yeah. Think about how much history was there. Not only does Eddie winning the championship, all the WCW Super Balls that were there, which I'm sure he was a part of. I don't have it in front of me, but you know, he was a part of. It's okay.
Don't worry about it.
It's okay, Steph. It's all right. Calm down back there. It's okay. You know, Super Brawl was there for many years. It was like their version of home. It was like their version of MGM holding the Halloween Havoc pay-per-views. So you know, just so much stuff before. Oh my God, back in the early days of wrestling, you know, all the crazy stuff there. You know, California was a hotbed for the longest time, north and south.
It's just one of those things though, where being a fan like I was, you know, I could stand there on that well and look down at the ring that was set up, and I had this vision flashing through my head of that night, and Eddie holding up the Mexican flag and celebrating with his mom and his brother and all that stuff. It was just unreal to me.
I really want to get a nameplate and put it on here for days like this for Eddie, but I keep not having money when I want to.
And then post his WWE title run, I think the next big place that you can go is his partnership / feud with Batista.
Yeah, well, the Ray thing, but that was before. But yeah,
We touched enough on it.
We did, yeah. And then Batista, the stuff was awesome because it led him back down the right path and gimmick wise, storyline wise, to driving the low riders again and being out there and celebrating with the people, and he's going to be part of the Survivor Series team that year, and
was he going to turn on Dave? Was he not going to turn on Dave?
And that's right, No Mercy. No Mercy. That's right, because he had the chance.
Everyone just assumed that Batista would be the obvious choice to turn heel, which is why I think that the Eddie tease was so brilliant, because size and weight-wise, there's no question that Batista could have crushed Eddie Guerrero, but Eddie was just too crafty.
Yep.
He's like, are we really friends, or am I just coming after your gold, essay?
And then we found out in No Mercy that there was golden heart left in him because he had the chance to cheat to win the World Heavyweight Championship, and he didn't do it.
Which brings us to the night that he passed.
Well, actually, which brings us to after the No Mercy and the second birthday.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what I think he knew a cake was coming. He's like, I'm not going to hit him with a chair. He's going to bring me a cake. I'm going to be good. I'm going to get me some cake. And then
the night of his passing, where all the reports and rumors say that he was supposed to get the strap off of Batista that night.
Yeah, I think
he was supposed to become champion again.
Which is why the whole Ray thing just digs up in my craw.
Let's not get into that too much.
I know.
Everyone knows.
Try to get positive.
Everyone knows our feelings on Ray's push, and we already let a couple of bad words slip out.
It's supposed to be
a pretty good PG show. This one was.
I know. It's our fault.
We don't want to get too
nasty.
Rolling on the Rey Mysterio thing, but if you don't know our feelings, I'm gonna sum it up very simply. Ray stole Chavo's push.
Yep.
If anybody was gonna get that push on the heels of Eddie's passing, it should have been Chavo.
Agreed. But
whether he has the skill or the charisma or the personality should have been irrelevant. If they were going to put a strap around the waist of somebody in memory of Eddie, it should have been Chavo.
Yep, definitely. But, hindsight being 2020, the fans... I'm starting to come around on Ray, to be honest with you. The fans love Ray, the kids definitely love Ray. So, for... My son loves Ray, thank you. Digs Ray the most, and it's hard to hate on him, but it just kind of it's really like
It's not even that it's really hate; it's just animosity that the wrong guy got the push.
Exactly. Knowing that he was going to be champion, it was like, okay.
So
all right, so we've rambled for a minute, but if you want to go ahead and wrap it up, by all means.
I hope y'all have enjoyed this impromptu tribute to Eddie Guerrero. I want to thank Stat Boy. I want to thank Jade. I want to thank Bruce for stopping in. And I'd like to thank Jeff for sitting down with me and giving their thoughts, their feelings, their memories, on any moments, matches, and the whole 9 yards. I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, and I will see you either tonight or probably first thing tomorrow morning with TNA thoughts and hopefully a much happier episode.
Yeah.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Hey guys, this is Chicks on Wrestling, the Bound for Glory results show. I am your wonderful, talented, charming, sexy hostess, Pinky, and this is...
Wow, that was like... Wait.
Hey! I'm trying to just hand it off to her and, you know, click style, and she's just gonna shoot me down. I'm Pinky and you're on Hook.
You are.
Now who are you?
Jade.
Shorty.
You're all friendly, crippled.
Hit that shit. Okay. We
Gotta
have...
do it.
I know. There are some Bound for Glory results. Have mercy, people. Match number 1. Ema Ion versus Rob Van Dam. Match was actually fantastic, although Zema Ion's hair scared the hell out of me.
What the hell is up with your hair?
Dude, really?
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z, something about Mary? Pretty much. That's what I said. Your winner and new X Division champion, Rob Van Dam. Yay!
I'm so kidding, because I actually voted for that one.
Yeah, we totally both voted for Rob Van Dam. Rob, congrats, buddy. You dork. Congrats, buddy. You are X Division before X Division was X Division. You were extreme before exhibition even was thought of, so.
Yay.
Good job. Go home, smoke a blunt. You'll be alright.
Seriously. Take care of your woman.
Mm-hmm. That booty, I'm sure he will.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, match number 2. Samoa Joe versus Magnus for the World Television title. We missed this one by technical difficulty.
Stupid computer.
Stupid computer. Pissed us off because I wanted to see my Joe kill Magnus. Well, we got
Should
the
we
results.
tell him the story?
Oh my god!
Of the computer?
No! That'll make me look bad. Okay, mine's going to My tiny little netbook can, do things when it wants to and be temperamental like it wants to, like her mama. It was temperamental 5 seconds before the match was even starting, before JB even talked to the guys. I had to ask Boss Man to really give us the results while my computer had to be system restored. So we missed the entire match. I'm sorry.
And then all through the show.
Oh God, let's not go. It glitched forever.
All through the show. It was glitching.
Yeah, it's worse
She
than
sits there and smacks it, or even taps it, being nice to it.
It doesn't work.
Nothing. I go back to it.
It worked.
It worked.
Every time.
That stopped happening. I flipped it off.
It worked.
It worked.
Go figure.
Flipping it off stopped. I flipped it. It worked.
Yeah, so my computer was about as temperamental as me. Anyway.
It doesn't like me.
Why is that? It's supposed to love mama, not you. That's bull crap. Anyway, Samoa Joe apparently kills Magnus. Right, boss man? Kills Magnus. Beautiful. So I am now 2-0. Boss Man's 2-0. Stat Boy's 2-0. No, Boss Man's 1-1. Excuse me, Stat Boy's 2-0, and this one is 1-1. Not happy. Your winner and still TV champion, Samoa Joe. Go Joe. Yay, Joe.
Boo.
Anywho, Bill. Well, I will say this, Magnus did tap, but he did put up a fight. He put up a fight, unlike most people. Well, considering, dear, we were getting play-by-play
Yes.
running commentary from Boss Man.
Which we totally appreciate from Boss Man.
Thank you, Boss Man. You're awesome for the running commentary. You're amazing.
He's behind the camera going.
Very horrible wits. Very horrible wits tap. Don't tap. Anyway, hopefully we get the DVD. We can actually see the freaking match. Seriously, I want to see the match anyway. So Samoa Joe wins. Yay! Match number 3. Bobby Roode versus the Tennessee Cowboy, James Storm. Okay, we will not mention how hot they both are because we already got told not to mention that. Oh, I'm sorry, asked not to mention that. Anyway.
I didn't.
Actually, she didn't. Actually, that was me. James Storm kicked the holy crap out of Bobby Roode. I am so happy. Although there was some bloody.
Roode wasn't bleeding as much as
James Storm was, but Bobby Roode was stumbling all over the place, man, like he was just a drunken ding dong at a frat party.
He was acting like he was bleeding
all over the place
as much as James Storm.
But James Storm was literally busted open from pillar to post. Oh my God, it was sick. There was blood on the turtle.
It was nasty.
Ew. But
blood.
I personally don't mind it if it's on somebody else and not me.
No, I don't like it either.
Well, I'm sorry. Well.
Especially when it's running at me. Ugh.
Ew. That's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your winner, the Tennessee Cowboy, James Storm. Yay! And King Mo, I couldn't see you with that black shirt on and your...
Until he came in.
Smile!
The room, it was just the...
Smile, honey, so we can see you. I can't see you with them soup coolers.
I didn't say it that time.
I said it. Wah, wah. What? Not my fault.
I used to say that. I say that to Aaron all the time.
Oh. Smile, we need to see you. Anyway.
Because you can't see his freaking ass down the hallway when it's dark. So he's made me jump several times.
I'm not in this.
So I can see you, Aaron.
I am not in this. King Mo can't do shit to me anyway because I'm over here.
I did that at Disneyland on Haunted Mansion.
Aww.
He's in a couple of carts back from me. I go, Aaron, what? Smile so I can see you.
I am not in that. Aaron, whoop her ass. I am so not in this one. And here, oh. And we got the double bird from
Double A.
Double A. With the Willie Mac eyes from Double A. Your winner, Tennessee Cowboy James Storm. And, excuse me, is there something wrong with this picture? During the match, he does a hanging DDT
That's
a la
crazy.
Randy Orton. So now we are resulting to stealing wrestlers' moves. Are we not? We're down to stealing wrestlers' moves. I kind of like it.
Everybody steals each other's moves anyway.
But just not stealing
As long as he's not doing this.
Yeah, Alberto Del Rio. Anyway, back to what we were saying. Cowboy James Storm won. Yay! I'm happy about that. Oh God, the match. We know.
Damn it.
And that's what you get.
I know, right?
Yeah, the match that I really didn't care about, but I was respectable anyway. Joey Ryan versus Al Snow.
Joey.
Really?
Yeah.
That pervy mustache. That pervy hair. Do not legalize sleaze.
Legalize it. Legalize weed.
Yeah,
that too.
That too. But do not legalize.
Smoke it. Come on, yeah.
Come on, really though. With that pervy hair, I mean, what is you dumbass?
I do.
I have a question. Somebody, what is up with the mustache and the soul patch that looks really pervy? I don't get it.
It's sleazy.
It's disgusting.
It's sleazy.
It's
supposed to be disgusting.
I don't like it.
He's doing his job.
Apparently so, because I sure can't stand him. Your winner.
There you go.
You're a winner and officially a part of the TNA roster, although we knew it was anyway. Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan. Okay, I'm done with that crap.
I love that.
Of
I'm
course
so happy for him.
Why?
I am. Because he's a buddy. He's a buddy of ours. He's cool. He deserves it. He's a great wrestler.
I will say that. Yes, he is.
He puts his all into the business. Loves the business for what it is.
I agree.
And shows that in his wrestling.
So basically, we are saying he is a student of the game.
Yeah.
I agree with that. When I saw him at PWG back in 2006, my God, that was 6 years ago. I did not know anything about independent wrestling because up until that point, I had only seen and been to WWE shows. I had never been to an independent wrestling show until I got to PWG. That was that and his match and our interaction, which Joey, thank you for the interaction. That was funny. Renewed my faith and love in wrestling because I was falling out of love with it. Until I went to PWG and saw Joey and saw Kevin Steen kill at Twitter.com. And AJ, and that was actually my first time ever seeing AJ and Daniels and the guys that I loved in TNA live and in living color and right in front of me. That was amazing.
See, PWG was my first complete anything wrestling.
Oh, wow.
Like, I had watched a little bit with my brother, like, back in the Stephanie and Hunter.
The McMahon Helmsley era.
That one, yeah. That era. But, like, I had to sneak it.
Why?
Because my parents didn't like it. My parents thought it was barbaric and just bad.
Okay.
So they didn't want us girls watching it. My brother loved to break the rules. So, when he would babysit us, he'd let me watch it.
Screw the rules, play the game, yes.
And so that was the only thing that I was ever, you know, exposed to. Until I met Jeff. And he asked me if I wanted to go to a wrestling show. I was like, okay. You know, because I mean, I knew that it wasn't real, you know, it was all scripted, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So I went with that mentality. And he's like, okay, seriously, just sit there. Let yourself forget that. And have fun.
And you did?
And I let myself forget that, and I looked at their athletic ability.
I agree.
And yes, the fine asses and all that helped. But I looked at their abilities, and I fell in love with it. I was just like,
The wrestling ability, not the wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
live with that.
Actually, Joey Ryan was one of my first people to actually come up to me.
Oh, that's cool.
And say hi.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he is not known for coming up to anybody. He is known for people coming up to him. Because he's really shy.
Well, he sure was shy the night I met him.
I was gonna say, he was the only one that, or I was the only one that he wasn't shy with.
Well, that's because
he would sit there and be quiet as all hell when Jeff or, you know, one of the other guys come over. But every time that I was talking to him, totally talking, open.
He's really sweet though.
Oh my
the
God,
night,
sweetheart.
my first PWG show, me and Joey got into a heated exchange while he was in the ring about to fight Chris Sabin. Hey Sabin, where are you at, buddy? And I kind of went off on my pinky, you know, rant. I was a little psychotic then, and he went on his little rant. And after the show, after I got the autographs and the pictures, he actually came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry for what I said. You know, I didn't mean it." I'm like, "Honey, I'm a wrestling fan, but I also know the business, and I also know we are the reason why you have a job.
Right.
We are the reasons why your salary is paid, and I love feeding." You know, the heels what they need.
Right.
And that's hate. That's what I love, so.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, Joey Ryan. I'm actually very proud of you, Joey Ryan. Good job, buddy. You are now a star.
We will miss you, but we love you, and we will look forward to watching you every week.
Please come back to Cali sometime soon. That's all we say. Match number 5. Team UPW, Kaz and Daniels versus AJ Styles and... What?
She actually named it that.
I actually named it that. Team UPW. Do you see this? I actually named it Team UPW. I did. That's the only place I know it from. Team UPW Styles and versus Styles. No, you don't do that. I'm sorry. Boss Man, that was funny. She said it. It's her fault.
I didn't know it.
You did. Versus Styles and...
Instigating, see? Not me, it's her.
Versus Styles and Angle versus Chavo Jr. and Hernandez. We all screwed up on this one. The only one who got it right was Boss Man.
Damn it.
Your winner and new Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions of the World, Los Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Next. Your divas. Your knockouts title match. I'm thinking
Don't
divas.
insult them.
I'm not insulting them.
That's an insult.
That was not an insult. I was trying to say knockouts, but Tara came to mind, diva. Your knockouts title match, Tara versus Miss Taskmaster, actually was a pretty decent match. That was a really good match, ladies. I'm very proud of you. Your winner and new knockouts champion, Tara. Yay! And her boo-boo happens to be Big Brother contestant. He's really not that hot.
Oh my God.
Jesse Goddard, I believe.
You were goggling. Goggling over.
Hey. I was Googling because he had a nice set of lips. Thank you very much. And it looked like his chest was ready to being chopped to death.
I was looking at something else. I was like,
whatever. But while looking there, you missed the fact that his chest was a little red in that picture, so it looks like he'd been chopped to death. So I said, oh, thank you. He actually is a wrestler. This gentleman actually got noticed on Big Brother.
Oh, it's so cute.
You're a nut job. He actually got noticed on Big Brother and actually broke out. That was his, breakout role on Big Brother, and he's now a wrestler, which is pretty flippin' cool, I say. So, Tara, enjoy your man tonight, boo-boo, when she grabbed him by his waistband. I'm like, can we not get freaky in the ring?
And enjoy your title.
Enjoy your title, girl.
Hopefully you keep it.
And just don't make it a menage a trois. Anyway, we have highlights from Sting's Hall of Fame ceremony. First up talking was Lex Luger.
Someone has a personal vendetta about him?
Whatever.
I don't know it, but yeah.
I'll explain later. I probably shouldn't say it on camera, so I'm not. I'm gonna be respectable.
Okay.
Lex Luger, and then we had Hulk Hogan talk, and then we had Dixie Carter, and we had the man Sting himself actually have a few words about his Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which is pretty cool. I will say so myself. Now, the only person I'm missing out of all of that, if anybody remembers the Blade Runners, Blade Runner Rock, and yeah, that was his tag team partner. The Ultimate Warrior was nowhere to be found, and I wonder why.
I don't know.
Okay, I guess I'll find out myself because she ain't gonna do the damn research, but I will.
I had no idea.
Well, that was That was me. That was mine.
My era.
Oh yeah, I forgot how you weren't even thought of by then. Anyway, we have one of two premier matches to talk about. Aces and Eights versus Sting and
That was a crazy match.
Bully Ray Dillon. Your winners and full access to Impact Zone, Aces and Eights. One of the members of Aces and Eights is none other than Devon Dudley. Really?
Oh, Lord, testify.
Testify. I'm going to testify right now. Now, I don't think I saw that coming, but we still don't know who the leader is, which I honestly thought we were going to at least see tonight. But at least one of the members of Aces and Eights is Devon, and poor Bully Ray, you have the nerve, the gall, the absolute audacity.
Say why?
Thank you.
Really?
Do you remember what you did to Devon and his sons, Terrence and Terrell, last year? Do you remember
Apparently not. He just had too many blows to the head or something.
Well, shoot, honey, you know what, honey? He should get cracked in the head by me with a frying pan. Maybe he'll remember everything.
That's not pretty. Don't know.
You bastard. I say this. I am so glad Devon decided to come back and be a member of Aces and Eights, and you have the nerve to have this, oh, why me? Look on my face. You freaking bully, that's why. You bastard.
It's in your name.
You bastard. 5150 hardcore. Take that crap elsewhere. Bastard. Anyway.
You just like that word, don't you? Bastard.
Bastard. Bullshit. And, he's amazing. Amazing is my other words. Our last and final match.
Madrid.
Nick Madrid is amazing. My new catchphrase.
It's totally yours.
I know. Yeah, that was something. Our last match of the night. That was absolutely beautiful and torn down the middle by the fans. The greatest man to ever live in the shortest little shit I've ever seen. Austin Aries.
Not the greatest man ever.
Not the greatest man.
No.
Versus the charismatic enigma, my rainbow-haired warrior, the leader of the creatures of the night, the wonderful of my imagination, Jeff Hardy. Your winner and new Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion of the freaking world, Jeff Hardy.
Damn it, I wish I could pick that up right now.
Well, don't pick it up right now. It's a beautiful thing, Jeff. You and Austin put on a fantastic match. You guys actually had the crowd standing from the time you guys got into the ring from the time you left. I am very impressed. I'm so proud of you, Jeff. Jeff, you took this last chance, this last shot, and you ran with it. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff, for giving me one of the best nights of my life. You're a title win. You're amazing. And
it went wrong. I went so close, but it didn't do it.
What is she doing?
See?
What the freaking? Give me this goddamn.
Jeff left behind.
Yeah, damn remote control. I'm sorry. That boy. Sorry, my bad.
Did you just hit my man?
I was trying to throw it away from you and hit him. I'm sorry.
She just hit my man.
Well, get back on track here. Jeff Hardy wins. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. Yay. And A-Double, take your shirt ass on the Ring of Honor. Bye-bye. Yay.
Stop making people say please.
Please is a part of the vocabulary, little woman. If you want a picture
they don't know it.
Whoa.
Or don't say it.
Whoa.
Tell them. You're not your dad. They're not their daddy.
Whoa, 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 whoa. It should be common sense, little girl. If you want an autograph or a picture, if you want an autograph or if you want an autograph or a picture, you say please and thank you.
I said very nicely, may I have your autograph?
Did you say please?
I didn't.
Okay, no wonder why he shunned you.
But
I would
said
too.
it very nicely still.
Do you not understand it's called common courtesy, little girl? Don't be looking at me like that.
Everybody else gave me an autograph. Didn't ask for a please.
But he asked for a please because he's that great.
But no. He didn't even just ask for a please. He said, what's the magic word?
Please?
Really?
Yes,
Am I
the magic
poor?
No. But if you're asking
in my 30s.
Oh God, but if you're asking something from someone, the least you can say is please.
Stupid.
No, it's not. I say please and thank you all the time.
So do I.
No, you do not, girl.
Oh, I do.
Girl, quit your lying. Quit your lying right now. Anyway, we are being told to wrap this up. This has been actually one of my funnest episodes ever. For Pinky and
Jade.
This has been Chicks on Wrestling. See ya.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Greetings everyone, welcome to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ, Aaron Rift. Let's talk wrestling. Let's get right down to your questions. Best GM of all time, Eric Bischoff. Say what you will about Bischoff as a businessman. He's made some good decisions, some bad ones, but one thing that's always been consistent, he's been a tremendous television performer. He's always done a great job in the role of the authority figure on TV and just being a prick. Maybe it's method acting, who knows, but Bischoff always does a great job on TV. Best GM in my opinion, bar none. What is your favorite Survivor Series elimination match? I think my all-time favorite was 1990 when they did the whole Ultimate Survival match where the winners from each regular match would go on to one final match at the end of the night. Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Tito Santana against Ted DiBiase and the entire, I forgot the name of the team. Shame on me for that. They were a great team. Rick Martel and all those other guys. Wow, I actually forgot it. But yeah, that was a great Survivor Series. I liked that whole concept, and I wish they would do it again. It was pretty awesome. The only negative of that whole Survivor Series was the gobbledygooker, but other than that, awesome stuff. Do you ever see Hulk Hogan returning to WWE in some capacity, even if it's as a spokesman or to farewell his fans one last time? Yes, I do think at some point we will see Hulk Hogan in a WWE ring again. Not wrestling, especially if Kevin Nash is having trouble getting into a match. They're not going to let Hulk Hogan back in the ring again. Now, I definitely see Hogan coming back at some point to say farewell, maybe be like a special enforcer or, you know, come back as like a guest host for one night. It's definitely something I see happening. I do not see Hulk Hogan not appearing in a WWE ring again. If Edge hadn't retired, do you think Christian would still have become world champion sooner or later? Maybe later. I don't know about sooner. I think Christian benefited from being in the right place at the right time, with Edge going down to injury and the SmackDown roster already being weak. It gave Christian the opportunity to step up and you know, win the world title and be in a world title feud. So, yeah, I mean, maybe eventually he would have gotten there, but definitely it sped up when Edge got hurt. Hey Aaron, loving the show, but what happened to... Not going to answer that. Do you remember when the WWE brought in the Patriots to feud with Bret Hart in the late 90s? He disappeared shortly after. What was the point of bringing the character in? Well, the thing with the Patriot was, you know, what happened was he got hurt. He had a torn triceps, I believe. So they were pushing him, and it just, you know, he just went down to injury. That's all that happened right there. It was kind of unfortunate, too, because he was building some momentum. And although I'm not sure how well he would have fit in with the Attitude Era, he was kind of like an old school 80s character, but people were into him. And, you know, like with Rey Mysterio, like the masks would have sold a lot, and they could have really made a lot of money off of that. But, yeah, just things didn't work out. It was due to the injury. Hey, Aaron, I wanted to know what were your thoughts on the Championship Scramble match, and do you think it would be a good idea for WWE to bring it back? I was never a big fan of that match. The whole idea of there being an interim champion, it got really confusing, and each guy is the interim champion until he gets beat or whatever. It just wasn't a big fan of that match, and just too much of a clusterfuck. So, yeah, I would not bring it back. That's just my opinion. Hey Aaron, do you buy your pay-per-views or do you watch it on JTV illegal stream website? I really want to know this. I buy all my pay-per-views. I have never illegally streamed a pay-per-view. I do not recommend it. I think you should either buy the pay-per-view or don't watch it. If you're not interested in it, then just don't watch it. If you are interested in it, buy it. Support the guys that you enjoy watching, because when you buy the pay-per-view, those performers are making money, you know, putting their life on the line, putting their bodies on the line. So it's kind of an insult to the guys you look up to when you just illegally stream the pay-per-view, because they're not making money. Do you think if Zack Ryder hadn't got out of the way to make his YouTube account and make an impressive internet following, had he been future endeavored by now? Maybe. I mean, we see guys like Kurt Hawkins still around. You know, WWE's always going to need a few lower card guys to just fill up the opening match spots. So maybe he would still be around. But yeah, definitely the internet videos have helped him out a lot. And for some guys, it hurts them. The more they're on the internet, like a Matt Hardy, the bigger hole he digs himself into. But in Zack Ryder's case, it actually helped him because he just developed such a fan base that WWE could not ignore it. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on Chavo Guerrero and Hornswoggle during the guest host era? I was like, really? That's pretty much how everybody was. those skits were so goofy, and I guess, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of them. I'm sure 10-year-old kids were enjoying it, but I wasn't really enjoying it. It was just too goofy, too over the top. Just my opinion. It was more dumb than funny. Hey Aaron, great show. What is your personal opinion on Goldberg? I think he was just too much aggression and he would hurt everyone he stepped in the ring with. Example, Bret Hart. Well, that's not Goldberg's fault. Goldberg was inexperienced. He came into WCW, got a monster push without really paying his dues. That wasn't his fault. He just came out there and he caught on with the crowd. It's just something you can't script or you can't expect. It just happened. And WCW went with it. But yeah, it was just a bad circumstance that led to Bret Hart's injury. It wasn't Goldberg's fault. It was, just the way it was. A guy who was inexperienced, but he was a big draw, and he was in there. They had the match, and just an accident happened. It could happen to anybody. It could happen with somebody with experience. Accidents happen. It's just the way it is. When Austin and McMahon had their cage match a number of years ago, was Austin actually supposed to win, or did they have a role with it when the cage broke? That was the whole plan all along. What happened was they had Big Show debut, but they still wanted Austin to win, to go to WrestleMania. So they had to come up with a way that Big Show could destroy Austin, yet Austin somehow still manages to win the match. So it was really well done. Big Show throws Austin into the cage, and the impact is so strong that it breaks the cage and Austin falls to the floor. Great finish. If Vince Russo scripted that was one of his highlights right there. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. If you would like to submit a question for NoDQ&A, go to NoDQForums.com, register, start interacting with other fans, and maybe your question will be answered here on the video show. You never know. Also, please subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. I really appreciate the support from you guys, and it really helps when you just, all you got to do is just go on Facebook, post a link to the show or a link to the channel, or go on Twitter, tweet it, or post it on a message board. Every little bit helps. And I really thank you guys for supporting NoDQ&A video, and we got more to come, so stay tuned.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeep's here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show. The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Hello, my internet fans. We're back. This is episode 34 of Stat Boy Rants, and as always, these rants are Stat Boy approved. Hashtag Stat Boy approved. I'm taking my time out from watching Cash Cab on KDOC TV. Shout out to Dave Marquez. Who's probably gonna, if you do see this, he's gonna probably try and plug NWA Hollywood, and got it. I'll let you do it there, Dave. Just, I hope you recovered, though, there, Dave, from the 24-hour situation at Disneyland. It was crazy. Anyway, that's a whole other rant. I promise. I wasn't there, but if you did survive it, good for you. We're going to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw, which was on Monday the 27th. Yeah, Monday the 27th? Yeah, Monday. If I get the date wrong, I don't give a damn. Alright, so, nice one. Oh, and by the way, just take a listen. Keep listening. You hear that? It's quiet at Casa D18. Very quiet. That's a good thing. I don't have Jeff Meacham over my shoulder. Don't forget, give him birthday wishes. Happy birthday, Jeff. March 1st is his birthday, so power up his wall with those birthday wishes. I don't have Jade, who is my supposed love interest, over here, and she's not. Make that perfectly clear. And we certainly don't have Dylan, although I've heard he has his own show now, which is cute, but he's not running around and making noise either. It's going to be a quiet couple of days at Casa D18, and I couldn't be happier. I'm not saying it to be mean, I'm not saying it to be an ass, but the one thing Stat Boy craves the most when he has his 2 days off from work is quiet! Gotta have a quiet. If I could make a t-shirt that say embrace the quiet. Okay, we've come out to a another champion versus champion match, a rematch from the SmackDown before, with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Apparently, with all the stuff that happened with Daniel grabbing the rope to gain a victory, and I don't remember how Punk won clean, didn't he, or something? I don't remember how Punk won that match, and then it got restarted. But either way, both of their shoulders were pinned to the mat, and no clear winner was decided. John Laurinaitis claimed that Daniel Bryan had won, and Teddy Long even claimed that CM Punk had won. Before you know it, they're starting to go at it, folks. They're gonna end up in a match in some capacity. Although let's face it, we do not want to see Teddy Long with his shirt off, and we god awful do not want to see John Laurinaitis in his doublet with bicycle trunks on. But look for, it's probably going to be Santino versus David, and the winner gets control of both shows. That's what they're building to. We're not dumb here. But Punk comes out for his match, and he gets interrupted by the jacket-wearing, supposed to be quiet, but has a lot to say, Chris Jericho. And Jericho pretty much calls out Punk, saying, "You are a wannabe just like me. I'm the best in the world at what I do. You claim to be the best wrestler in the world." I'm going not verbatim, but you get the idea. Punk interrupts the speech. Jericho calls him a boy. He goes, "I'm talking to you, boy. You're going to listen." And they go back and forth. They have a great promo, right? That's one of the best promos I've seen in a long time. Laurinaitis comes down, whatever. And then I think a cheap shot gets involved, and the match starts, and we go to commercial. When we come back from commercial, we look at the announce table, and lo and behold, Teddy Long and Santino Marella were there. Now, we don't know if they came out during the commercial or if they were already there and they just pulled the camera back. We don't know. And of course, the fight continues and whatnot. My show's better than your show, blah, 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 whatever. Jericho comes in, and let's see if I can remember this. Blah, 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 blah. Teddy gets up, argues with Johnny. Otunga and Santino join in the argument. Sheamus comes down, throws Bryan back into the ring. GTS, Laurinaitis calls for the bell. No winner has been declared. Jericho comes back in, cheap shot, walls of Jericho. We go to commercial. We come back, we're hyping Triple H and Taker again. And we're going to have, for the millionth time again, Cena goes up against Miz. I mean, they got nothing better for that. When we went to the Raw show in LA, I saw a better match that's not a bad idea. It was Miz versus Truth versus Swagger for the US title. Why throw him in a match with John Cena? Make that a reality for WrestleMania. Have Truth come out, go up against Swagger, okay, or he calls out Swagger. WWE officials pay attention, Then here comes Miz, and he actually cut a promo at the house show saying, I am not going to be at WrestleMania without a belt. So it's, two heels versus R-Truth. But of course, Miz is a bigger asshole than Swagger is, so, give Miz the belt. He held that title once. Let him hold it again. So we come back and we get Kelly versus Nikki Bella. Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, as if they can't do anything more with the divas. Kelly wins, big deal. Not much there. And then The Miz comes out for his match against Cena, saying that, well, John Cena always does all this. I've done more media than John Cena does. And actually, when it comes down to Miz and John Cena doing talk shows, I'd rather watch The Miz. As much as I like John Cena, I would rather see The Miz on talk shows, And of course, Cena wins. No surprise there. And Cena calls out The Rock. The Rock shows up on the big screen. You can't see me. Pulls down the shade. Fade to black. Then we have a triple threat tag team match with R-Truth teaming up with Kofi Kingston, which just sounds like a pretty good team on paper. They're cool and all that. Against Dolph and Jack. Hey, that sounds like a... Hey, bartender, give me a Dolph and Jack. It's perfect. Oh. And then, of course, Primo and Epico, the tag team champions. But let's face it, we all want to see Rosa Mendez. Her hips don't lie. And Primo and Epico retain after a... I think it was like Trouble in Paradise, which turned into a backbreaker. Or a backstabber. Are Primo and Epico considered neutral? Because I love Rosa, but I hate the team. So they're kind of in the middle, I think. Then Kane decides to come back. He lives. Kane is okay after his ambulance match at the pay-per-view. In fact, at the Raw house show, an ambulance actually drove up to the backside of Staples Center. We're going, oh, there's Kane. Kane came in an ambulance. He didn't come in a Ford Focus or in fact, they must have had really crappy rental cars, because they weren't Escalades or Lincolns or Cadillacs. They were just simple, just good old-fashioned cars. I mean, you guys are WWE superstars. Get a car with class. Rent yourselves a Lincoln Town car. Get a Cadillac Escalade. Just don't put any spinners on it because you're in LA. They spinning, brother, they spinning. They spinning, brother, they spinning. Kane walks in, takes out who's ever moving, and leaves. We go to the back. We get Eve coming out now with her boobs from here to Sunday. Let's face it, guys, we were looking at her boobs. She could talk about nuclear meltdowns and Armageddon, and the world's going to come to an end in 2012, and oh, I don't know, there's 5 nuclear missiles aimed at the United States, but we're staring at Eve's boobs. Yeah. But she does, and honestly, nobody cares. So maybe the whole Hosky thing is done. I don't know. We had a tag team match with Big Show and Sheamus against Cody Rhodes and Mark Henry. Big Show and Cody are feuding now, with Cody showing all these previous WrestleMania moments. He so far showed the Akabono Sumo match, which, let's face it, we do not want to see any more of Big Show's ass than we've already seen. Thank you, DX. You started the trend back then when, you know, they shoved Vince up as far as far as Big Show as they can't go any further. And then he's wearing the sumo trunks and... Ugh. Well, Big Show didn't look that big back then. He looked kind of thinner. And then he showed the footage with Floyd Mayweather, getting knocked out and his nose broken. You know, whatever. Cody decides, I don't want nothing to do with this, and he bails. And of course, Sheamus and Big Show win. Congratulations to Cody Rhodes. He has now surpassed 200 days as Intercontinental Champion. Has he defended it? Not that I've remembered. But 200 days, man. Another 100 to go, and that's one of the top, whatever. And finally, The Rock comes out. The big moment. This is what everybody in the WWE universe has waiting for. Why? Because The Rock finally decided to show up. So I think now it's been 6 times. He's on a new hand. He comes up, and thanks to the high-definition camera, he shows his forearm. It's covered in goosebumps. It's like, okay. And he verifies the fact, he actually tells the truth, that when he said he was home, he realized, yeah, I know, I haven't been here every week. Well, no kidding, Rock. Next thing you're going to tell us, the sky is blue, the ocean is deep, and the Pope is Catholic. Oh, and President Obama's black. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Dwayne Johnson, for telling us that you haven't been showing up because you're making movies. Really? Let's see, what else does he say? And of course the crowd, who's literally in Rock's hand, you know, they start chanting everything, and apparently it starts trending on Twitter. They start with the boots to asses. They start with the Rocky chants. They start with the ladies' Cena parts, or Cena ladies' parts. They do the Fruity Pebbles chant, which actually makes Dwayne, I called him Dwayne, makes him crack a smile. The one thing I didn't like, he actually tried to tell the crowd to, be quiet. No. You could be the best face, the most popular one. You let the crowd talk. There's something called the First Amendment. We're going to scream, we're going to boo, we're going to cry. We're just not going to throw any beer because at arenas it costs $8.25 a glass. So we're not going to throw any beer. We even throw toilet paper, Chris Jericho. It actually happened. Somebody threw a roll of toilet paper at Chris Jericho at the house show. And he actually picked it up. He goes, "Who threw this?" And about 200 people snitched this guy out. He was probably maybe 50 yards from the ring. And I even saw Redcoat Security try and find this guy. We have the footage. But unfortunately, it's copyrighted by WWE. So then, Rock admits that at first he thought Cena was a phony, but he figured it out that he's not. Apparently, Rock and Cena have swapped phone numbers, but he doesn't want to talk to him because he's a Kung Pao bitch. Yeah. Trending worldwide, Kung Pao bitch. I mean, did The Rock actually eat some Chinese food? I've never had Kung Pao chicken. I almost went and got some and wanted to eat it on the show, but it's not dinner time yet. So, of course, that starts trending and whatnot. The crowd goes in between Kung Pao bitch and Rocky and all that, so The Rock is playing, okay, which chant do you want to do? And finally, Cena comes... there's one more. He says Cena has no balls. That's trending worldwide. Cena finally comes out. And it kind of... At that point, Rock didn't really know what to do, because when I saw the second part of the promo after he left, it's like, what else can I say, what else can I say, what else can I say? And then Cena leaves, and then The Rock finishes it off. If you throw... It's like, really, Rock? You come back and that's all you got? You have to base a promo on what you had for lunch at catering? Really? So, we've got we have 1 month until Mania. We don't know how many more times Rock will be there. We know Cena will be there. If there's going to be a contract signing, that'll probably happen. Next week, HBK is supposed to come back again. Yay. They're going to run the angle. Apparently on WWE.com there was something saying that Shawn was better than Triple H. So I guess there's going to be a confrontation between those two. And in reality, stat-wise, maybe Shawn is. Shawn's held some good titles, Trips did too. Trips is a 12-time... Oh, so wait a minute. Trips is a 12-time champion, though. Shawn hasn't held the belt that long. So see, now I got to retract my statement. Shawn's been in the business a little bit longer, so he's got experience on his side. And maybe they're going to go with the special referee angle as well. They want to bring Shawn in some capacity. Like Shawn said a couple weeks back, you can't have WrestleMania without me. So, we're going to see what happens next week. I don't think Triple H and HBK will come to blows. They, as much as Shawn loves retirement, I don't think he's going to do one more match with his best friend. If they do, then it'll make Triple H look more like an ass, and he'll be the heel at Mania. Instead of having two big names going and beating the living hell out of each other in Hell in a Cell, it'll be, who answers the phone during a promo? Who is it anyway? I want to know. They'll have good versus evil, with Taker being good and Triple H being evil, and good will vanquish. The streak will be 20-0. Taker will go in the Hall of Fame, and he can retire peacefully and grow his hair out and ride his motorcycle. Alright? I have not seen SmackDown yet. SmackDown will be coming up when this goes up, so if anything crazy happens about that, I will let you guys know. I touched on the house show which we went to. We had a good time out there. That's pretty much it. So we're done with this episode. Give me those comments, guys. Thanks for watching. Happy birthday, Mr. Jeff Meacham. Stat Boy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello pals, Alyssa Marino here, and as a friend of Parker Kane Promotions, I am super excited to share the awesomeness that they've got in store for you this November at WrestleCade. You'll be seeing the world-traveling Capital Championship Wrestling Global Fighting Champ Rebecca J. Scott, a rising star who's been featured on Ladies Night Out, MCW, and more, the stunner Emily J., an internationally traveled talent who you've seen on NXT UK and Stardom, Angel of the Ring Zaya Brookside, and NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion Chicago's Sweetheart Missa Kate will also be appearing live. It's all going down WrestleCade weekend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. You can catch these stars brought to you by Parker Kane Promotions on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And be sure to stick around for Ladies Night Out the following day on Sunday, November 26th. You can get your WrestleCade weekend tickets at WrestleCade.com.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
This is James Morgan, NWA and Mach 1 Wrestling Superstar.
This is Chris Masters, the Masterpiece.
This is Downtown Bruno. This is Eric Watts from WWE Tough Enough.
Mikey Nova.
Hey, what's up? This your boy, Sean Black.
This is Jess Bella from Santino Brothers.
Gorgeous Joey Chaos.
Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and you are watching Dads on Wrestling.
The Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
Dads on Wrestling.
On YouTube.
This week on YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Now stay tuned or you will feel the bang!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You know who we are. We are the Dads on Wrestling here on the Warner Brothers lot, courtesy of the Lady Killer Ray Larkin.
And
here.
you know when you roll with me, you only roll one way.
VIP, baby. We are here for George Lopez tonight. Going to be filmed featuring WWE superstar, former WWE champion The Miz.
The most must-see WWE champion in recent memory.
That's right, and the man that should have won this past week on Raw. But that's another story that's already been addressed.
Yeah,
go ahead and walk off, Jeff.
No, I'm not gonna walk up. Whatever. I'm gonna put over Mysterio's DVD. We'll buy that shit. Yeah, we'll buy that shit. I'll buy it. I'll tell you what, we got.
I'll only buy it because it's $20 worth of stock money in your pockets that you'll then turn around and take me back to something like this again later.
That's right. Got it, man. I just want to let you guys know. Can't wait till the big SummerSlam party.
That's
Got
right.
big news for that.
Being summoned by the laughing squirrel. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to put over the fact that we've been well, how long is it? Almost a year now?
Yeah.
Almost a year now. Renegade
Started
Wrestling.
in January.
And Dads on Wrestling.
So 7 months
So
plus.
2/3 of the year so far, just about.
We already got almost everything in production. Almost coming close to a deal. With the Lady Killer Ray Larkin.
That's right.
And the Renegade
We've been in
Wrestling.
heavy negotiations with this man, and I believe we're close to signing the deal, but you're just going to have to tune into the SummerSlam party to find out on that one.
Which, by the way, will be exclusive to the Renegade Wrestling Dads on Wrestling channel.
That is
we need to point that out for the record now that y'all have seen what y'all have seen.
But I'm still not satisfied.
Of course you're
I
not.
think that, of course not. No. I think that we need to take a trip to what every Los Angeles fan loves to go. I'm talking Dodger Stadium, Renegade. I'm talking...
I was going to say, what, Spearman Rhino?
No. That's the Lady Killer spot.
LAX?
No. I'm talking Dodger Stadium.
Dodger
Talking
Stadium.
a group of 40,000 fans screaming their asses off. I'm talking the King's Hat giveaway. I'm talking...
Lord knows Jeff needs
Just don't go wearing San Francisco gear.
Clear.
Thank you, Mr. Cameraman, who was supposed to not be on this episode.
I will. I'll wear Giants gear just to piss people off. I will do it.
I was debating about going in my St. Louis Cardinals sleeveless
There
shirt.
you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's something to piss those stupid people off.
I don't even know who we're playing this week, but you know what? Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Well, we'll see about that. But
that's not.
But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We're here on the Warner Brother lot.
about
Like I said, George Lopez,
The Miz.
We're gonna have
We're hitting it
Statboy
right
edit
now.
this. We're gonna have Statboy edit this. We're gonna be back in a little bit to talk about what we thought about The Miz on George Lopez. Give our thoughts on his interview, his performance, and all that good stuff.
But you know where you can watch it because we don't know if it's going up tonight or not. We don't know.
We know it's on
don't
TBS.
know.
Check your local listings.
TBS,
and we'll figure
for
it out
sure.
because I'm sure they'll repeat it before SummerSlam anyway.
I'm sure they will. It will be on TBS. We just don't know what day.
Exactly. So we'll be right back in a few minutes with our thoughts on what happened on the show. VIP. We're back close to George Lopez. We are at the fine Jack in the Box in Lakewood, California. Let's go ahead and start talking about the taping of it. Why are you grinning, Jeff?
This isn't a grin, this is a full-on smile, brother.
Why are you smiling?
Because this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is history.
Okay.
Because while we were at George Lopez, the video that is being talked about around the world right now went live on YouTube.
CM Punk at Comic-Con?
Yes. But also, this is the first taping featuring Jeff Meacham in the post-NoDQ era.
Why don't you go ahead and explain to everybody again, really briefly, what that means?
What that means is I no
No
longer
soapbox.
work for NoDQ.com. I no longer work for Aaron Rift. I no longer work for his family or his fiance, and I sure as hell don't work with Mike Nagel. I will not put him over, although I just gave him the names, so I kind of put him over accidentally. But
that is the last time they will be put over on this show or any other show affiliated. Yeah.
They will be considered Chris Benoit sets on this channel. Except that we like Chris Benoit on this channel.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We like Chris Benoit on this
They
channel.
will be considered the way WWE considers Chris Benoit.
You will not hear them again. Alright.
Which I know it's going to be hard for you, Lady Killer, but you can't shout that anymore.
I can't.
I'm not trying to censor you, but I'm just saying.
Ben, all I can tell you is this. My last shout out to you. This is my second to the last
episode of Dad's on Wrestling.
I tasty beverage.
That's true, because the only other one you're going to be on is the prediction one.
Yeah. And my Cena story, gotta make sure that one post, episode 32 or 33, gets that 1,000 views.
We're getting there.
We're at 752 as of the last check.
And from the bottom of all of our hearts, we'd like to thank you for getting us to 1,000 without any kind of push from another website. It was just all of you guys who gave us that support, and we appreciate it.
For all the crap I get about the juggernaut of where I used to work, this is us doing this. So.
This is true.
And I will not let you guys down on that Cena story.
That's right. So, now on to George Lopez. The first guest of the night was...
Can we talk about the big pop that George got when he came out?
It was a good pop, but it wasn't near as good as the special guest we went there to see.
This is
now,
true.
The first guest of the night was an actress by the name of Kate Walsh from Private Practice.
Private Practice. Her character on Private Practice spun off from Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
And she's been around for a long time. She was the first thing I saw her on was the Drew Carey show before Drew Carey went all thin and got on Price is Right.
And put in the Hall of Fame.
And put in the WWE
Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. This is the fat Drew Carey that we all knew and loved, that feuded with Mimi, that we knew.
I never loved Drew Carey.
Okay. Well, anyway, she played, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong out there, Jeff Meacham Marks, they're making comments on the video. Staff Boy, yeah, Staff Boy, help me out here. Not Staff Boy cameraman, the official Staff Boy, because I want to talk only one. I believe she played Drew Carey's girlfriend that her weight fluctuated back and forth, Nikki. Could be wrong, I don't know. But anyway, she don't look like she's having weight problems right now.
No.
She walked out there with her legs over the place and hugging on Georgie, and George is wearing her fragrance called Boyfriend, which, honestly, I was half expecting samples of Boyfriend to be handed out when we walked out of the WWE studio.
All the dudes in the
I was
audience.
like, I will wear that, and if I'm going to have so much attention as she was giving George Lopez, the living room will be clear tonight, baby. I'm just throwing that out there. But no such luck. All we got was a flyer about George Lopez's comedy stick, which was unfortunately going on right now. Viva Larissa over at the El Rey. No such luck going there tonight. We tried
Big shout out to Aaron Cameraman Austin,
yes,
who won those tickets for us by dancing like it was 1929.
There was no tomorrow. There was no tomorrow.
Yes.
We would have been able to go if it hadn't been for significant others who had bad nights, and would have been really pissed if we went and we had more gas in the car. But at the end of the day,
I was going to not piss some people off.
It is what it is, and it'll be what it is.
And what it was the like we said in the intro, the most must-see WWE champion in recent memory, the second guest, the man who pointed out J.J. Williams on the show, and we found out already that we were in the first 3 minutes of the show.
This is true, and it's already on Facebook. Jeff himself was seen in the first 3 minutes of the George Lopez episode tonight. So, like we said, check your local listings. We will be posted on Facebook tonight to make sure you tape it, DVR it, whatever, so you can be on the lookout for us. The 3 of our mugs, plus Aaron, the cameraman. Again, big shout out to you for running the camera.
This is probably going up after George Lopez runs,
Miz came out there second guest.
And got the pop of the night, man.
Hugest pop of the night.
Except for George, of course, because it's this show.
But even still, the Miz got a bigger pop than George. George was close second. But the Miz's was just a little bit bigger, if for no other reason, but for the 4 of us that were there,
leading the charge,
4 buddies behind us, Josh, John, his brother, and their other 2 homies, all of us combined in that one little section. And we made the Miz stop his conversation with George, point out the wrestling fans, and comment about how great the wrestling fans are.
And to be fair, George's pop was also the result of our buddy Roger, the hype man, the audience fluffers, he called it.
That's right.
Roger was awesome tonight. He got us the tickets. Aaron helped out with the dancing, that's for damn sure.
But Roger, he was boogieing like it was 1929.
Yeah, and then Roger's like, okay, you need to stop doing what you're doing over there. And then Roger started getting a girl lap dance. I was like, whoa. Roger, you need to back off of that.
Warm-up guy was crazy.
But to be fair, George's pop was a result of Roger getting us all nothing fucks for a half hour.
Yeah.
Mrs. Pop was the 4 of us, and the 4 of Josh's friends leading the charge.
I mean, it was a combination of things. It was the fact that, you know, we came in there VIP, first of all.
Once again, thanks to you.
You know, WB Connections always. All my friends who helped me get those tickets over time, like that continuity with those people. And not to mention a good guy like Roger getting us all hyped up and everything like that. And not to mention The Miz, who I think we put over. And if you guys watch that episode, when you hear The Miz's awesome chant, yes, it's these guys. It's us.
We were told flat out, no chants, no whistles, no nothing. And we were like, you know what? Since we do, we obey the rules. Thank you. Seriously.
Like the old DX used to say, you make the rules and we will break them.
Yeah. We broke them because during the Miz's segment, I gotta bust her out on it. I know you're not the biggest fan of hers, and I know Ray doesn't know her all that well, but I gotta bust Candice LeRae's chops because she was the plant in the audience tonight and did Miz's Dance with the Stars audition.
Well, the premise that Miz was going to do an audition for Dancing with the Stars.
Right.
And he was looking in the audience for some random girl.
And Candice is right there. She portrayed a girl by the name of Allison. And you know what? I give her props because Miz threw her around like a freaking... Regardless of what we think of her personally, she is a decent wrestler. And you know what? She took those bumps like a man. She got thrown around like a rag doll.
I gotta say, Jeff, if you're gonna keep putting Candice over, I'm gonna have to turn my chair around like we're talking about John Cena Batista from WrestleMania.
I will not deny from the fact that Buggy has been adult to us, and Buggy is good to our kids, and I will cheer Buggy on when this NWA taping happens next month, and they go First Blood, which, if you all have not heard about this, is for no other reason to go to the Region Showcase in August, although it is the day of SummerSlam, and we won't get to be there. August 14th, 12:30 bell time.
Free beer.
Candice LeRae and Buggy in a First Blood match. Interesting. Now, granted, we all know Buggy's probably one to bleed because Miss Priss ain't gonna bleed. But you know what?
Especially after being on George Lopez.
But bleeding or not, she took some serious throw around, and she took a nasty bump off the stage.
Let's get off of Candice LeRae because I got off for a few hours before we went to George Lopez.
Oh, what they're talking about real quick is what you saw, that they're going to see like one throw, which turned out to be several throws by The Miz.
We're starting to get to the end of the time on the show, and we haven't even touched on the last guest, the musical guest.
Yes.
Let's talk about Austin Brown.
Austin Brown. You know, who he is.
Yeah. I mean, he is a relative of Michael Jackson, and not only that, it's all Michael Jackson orientated on that show. Michael Bearden was the director, musical director.
Michael, for Madonna, for a whole bunch of people that Roger was rattling off, and I was like, it's too much, I can't do it.
Yes.
I have a headache because it was overload.
It was an awesome show. Then came the mystery guest.
Oh God.
And we're gonna pull a Ray here. We do not.
May I?
Go ahead, Ray.
We have roughly, as we were insulted at first, roughly 500 subscribers. We need 500 views to tell you who this mystery guest was. Now, a lot of you right now, you know I don't disappoint. So you know I wouldn't disappoint by telling you who the mystery guest is. So if you give this show, this episode, 500 views, we'll tell you right as it hits 500. It'll come right out.
And to be fair, we won't be able to film because 500 is pretty quick, and the episode he's on is only next Wednesday.
So if we can get it by next
I was going to say, that was supposed to be the shtick. If we don't get 500 views, we're going to spoil it for you.
There you go. That's
we already know who the guest is going to be, and all you people that go to George Lopez next Wednesday trying to go to the taping aren't going to get to see this person that we saw.
He is advertised for next Wednesday's broadcast.
If we do not get 500 views by the time the next Renegade goes up, we will spoil it.
Yep. We won't film it. We'll blow it up on Facebook.
For our George Lopez episode, Jeff Meacham, the Renegade Wrestling,
the liberated, the free Jeff Meacham,
the living legend Jeff Meacham, the Renegade Wrestling J.J. Williams, the Lady Killer Ray Larkin. Thanks again to the cameraman, and we'll see you next time.